All right. Great. Well, welcome to our Friday evening Zoom, guys. You know this is our Friday night huddle. This is our Friday night huddle for all of our visitors. This is when we get together as a team and we huddle together and we go over different projects and different procedures as a company and as a team, things that's going to better us and make us better as a people and as a team and an organization. So this is where we come in a relaxed atmosphere, okay? This is where we get to ask questions. All of our quote unquote dumb questions, this is where we want to ask those questions at now. So this is where we learn and we kind of put our minds together in our brains and we get to go higher in the industry that we love so much now. So I want to start off just by saying, just to our team, guys, kudos to everybody on our team that's been closing deals this week. Guys, we've been closing a bunch of deals this week, and I just want to take my hat off to each and every one of you all that's getting checks today. Everyone's been getting checks and closing deals. So my hat goes off to each and every one of you for your efforts. Listen, guys, this is not easy work, and it takes consistency, it takes dedication, it takes continuing to hear some no's sometime, and and just kind of pounding the pavement and getting these products out here. But you guys stick with it time after time, week after week. And listen, we got the best team. We have the best team in the organization. Let me just say that for the record. I know that we're recording, but we have the best team right here on the G2 team in the organization. And guys, don't you ever forget that. And I think we recorded that, right, G?
Yeah, this is my shameless plug moment that happens on every one of our huddles, which is if you want to join the best team, email us. I will put our email in the chat.
This is definitely the best thing, guys. We got a lot of great things that's going on, guys. We spend our day making this meeting and putting together different procedures in place and different programs in place that will ensure the success of the team. Okay, so that is what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, guys. We've been giving out the leads, especially on these fix and flips on deals and the unsecured loans. Okay, so most of you all who've been getting leads have been receiving leads for the fix and flip funding and for unsecured loans, lines of credit, and gap funding, things of that nature. So today I want to just talk about this true 100% fix and flip loan. A lot of people thinking like, man, this has got to be too good to be true. And listen, guys, in the traditional world, it is too good to be true. But guess what? It's true. We definitely have a 100% true fix and flip loan, okay, for fixing for investors. Okay. So let's just put that disclaimer out there now. The marketplace right now is saturated with a lot of people that saying that they can do a 100% fix and flip program, and they actually cannot. But we actually can. And the way that we're able to do that is by using private money, okay? So today I'm going to show you two different ways that you can actually have a 100% fix and flip program. The first one we're going to talk about today is an actual program that we have that's for experienced investors that have at least 8 properties or more under their belt within the last 5 years. That's what the 100% fix and flip program is. That's who it's for. If you do not have that type of history, we can still go up to 90% loan to value. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started on this right now. So some of you all are even new on the team, and some of you all may even be new to the fix and flip market, and some of us just kind of need a brush up. But just some basic information, guys. A fix and flip is a strategy of purchasing a property and then fixing it up and selling it at a profit. Okay, so what investors do, investors typically like to buy a property at a really, really, really low discounted price. They want to buy it as low as possible so they can fix it up and sell it at a higher cost. Okay, hence the word fix and then flip. Okay, so that's in a nutshell what a fix and flip loan is. A common term that you would hear in this industry is called dilapidated. Dilapidated. So you'll hear a term like that in this industry that simply means that this is a property that has deteriorated, it's fallen apart, it's abandoned, and things of that nature. So this is a dilapidated property. So you'll hear that term from investors. They're looking for properties that's dilapidated. Why? So they can fix it up. They can buy it at the lowest price possible. Because when it's dilapidated, it cannot hold the same value as a property that's fixed up and ready to live in and has all the bells and whistles. Okay, you guys with me? Okay. So what's the difference between an abandoned property, which would be dilapidated, and a derelict property? Okay. A derelict property, this simply means that it's a vessel that actually is empty or is dilapidated, but it has an actual identifiable owner. So they know how to reach the owner. Okay, so some properties are just derelict style properties. Okay, so you'll hear that term as well in the fix and flip market, in the fix and flip industry. So what is the main attractions? You hear everybody getting into say, I want to get into the fix and flip. I want to get into the industry and fix and flip, right? What's the main attraction to these type of properties? What's the main attraction? Low price, right? This is the main attraction. And the major draw to an abandoned home is buying a home well below the market value. You want to get the property below market value. Whether you buy that property to flip or live in, you'll save a bunch of money buying it at a really low cost because this house is abandoned. It's lost its value, right? It's lost its value. So you need to find properties that's either abandoned or just needs to be fixed up. They need a lot of work, but you need something that has lost its value so you can buy at a lower cost. Market value, you're going to hear that term, market value. That is how much a home or property is sell for under normal conditions. Okay, which you would hear mainly called a ARV. You all hear that term all the time, the ARV. That stands for after repair value. So in the fix and flip market, in the fix and flip world, investors are looking at the first thing that attracts them is the ARV, which is the market value. So if I see a property that's worth, $300,000 at its best, in its best condition, and I can get that property at $100,000 with only maybe putting $100,000 of work and rehab money back into it, I can sell that for $300,000 and make $100,000, right? So that's the flip. That's the flip. It seems pretty simple, right?
Yeah. Seems simple, Mo.
Seems simple. All right. But it's not simple, guys. I'm gonna say that to you. It's not really simple because there's an art to finding fix and flips. You've got, I know we got a lot of realtors on this team, and we got a lot of investors on this team and on this call. It's hard trying to find these properties, especially off market. Investors want the properties off the market, especially when they're trying to find fix and flip deals. They want off market properties. Okay. So I'm going to talk about 8 different steps to fixing and flipping the property. Okay. The very first thing when you get into this industry and fix and flip, right? The very first thing you want to do some research. You want to do research about the industry, that area, and exactly what it is that you're doing. I learned from some investors a long time ago that, you can really lose your pants in the fix and flip industry if you don't have all your things in order. If you don't know what you're doing, where you're going, if you don't have the right contractors, you can really lose your pants, right? So you want to do some essential research. Secondly, you want to decide on the scope of the project. Some projects is huge. Some projects is bigger than others. Some projects may only need a roof and a porch and maybe some paint on the wall, right? But then you may have some projects that's going to need wiring, plumbing. It's going to need flooring. It's going to need a total rehab. They call it a gut, a full gut, right? You'll hear that term called a full gut. So you have to decide on the scope of the project and what you're willing to take on. Okay? Secondly, you want to create a plan. You want to create a plan. And your plan needs to be your exit strategy. How am I going to get the capital to get this thing up to par? And then what kind of exit strategy am I putting forward? The fourth thing is arranging the money, okay? Arranging the money, that's where we come in. Okay? This is where we are in the process. This is where you and I and everyone on this team fit in, right? So picture yourself in this process, and this is your stage right here. So after the customer has done some research and they've decided on the scope of how big they want to go on a project and they've got a plan in order, they should be talking to you. They should be speaking with you, right? And saying to you, Carolyn or Benny or Rudy or Veronica, I need to arrange for financing for this project that I've done some research on, and that I've decided on the scope of the project. So I need some funding, right? So the next step from that point, and once you identify where you are getting the money from, because you're going to need money to buy the property and you're going to need money to fix the property up. So the question is, where do you get the money from? The answer is you, right? So now, find and buy the right property. Make the necessary repairs. Once you get the money, you have to make the necessary repairs. How does that work? It's done in what's called draws. In the fix and flip world, it's done in draws. That means you're going to have at least 3 to 4 draws, which means that you're going to put up maybe $20,000 to $30,000 on the first set of repairs, and then we come back and we give you a reimbursement in 3 days at 100%. Okay. Then you're going to call your realtor, and you're going to resell that house for the profit. Every step, then you're going to move on to the next deal. This is the process. This is a simple process. Do some research, decide on a project, have a plan of execution. Have your funding in place. You always got to make sure that you have a funding. All your clients want to make sure is that they have the right funding source in place. So when they pick up the phone, that they're able to get the funding at a quick time, at a reputable time. Find and buy the right property. Make the necessary repairs, and then sell the property and then move on. Okay, so what is that funding process like for the fix and flip deals? Okay, so here's what the funding process is like, because you want to get funding for your project, right? The funding process is a 100% loan, LTC, loan to cost. Up to 100%. Now, who does that qualify for that 100%? Investors.
Use the bathroom first. Oh.
Put Margaret's thing. Investors that has 8 properties or more within the last 5 years. If they do not have 8 properties or more within the last 5 years, they can still qualify for up to 90% if they're still experienced, but they have not hit that 8 property mark. Maybe they've got 6 properties, they're still experienced. If they're brand new, they can still get up to like 85%. Okay, so the process is to identify where your client falls in, what area and what category your client falls into. Benny, you had something? Okay. The next thing is the rehab. You got to have the money for the rehab. So this is the way that it works. That 100% financing is going to be done in draws. So you're going to make the purchase, which is at $100,000 minimum. Okay. And the rehab, whatever that is going to be broken up into maybe 4 different draws. So that means as an investor, your investor needs to be prepared with liquidity, some cash, to be able to make their first draw. So when you're selling this program and you're presenting this program, please make sure that your client has liquidity to make the first draw. They will receive a refund on that draw within 3 days. Okay, so they won't be out of the money long. Okay, the after repair value is up to 75% of the ARV, you all. So the way that you calculate when you're out there looking at a deal, you want to calculate 75% of the ARV or the market value as being your threshold of what you can get approved for. So 75% of whatever that value is, you need to be able to fit the purchase and the rehab within that 75% radius. Okay. So when you're scouting and you're talking to clients, keep that in mind. Your math of 75% of the after repair or the market value. The minimum loan amount is $100,000. The interest rate started at 9.25. Okay, and this is interest only. Now, the good thing about our program for our 100% fix and flip programs and our private investors package is that you don't have to make a payment monthly. So which means your payments are held. So as you're going through the process, you can keep more money in your pocket monthly now. So with other loans, you have to make a monthly payment toward that loan while you're waiting to sell it and you're fixing it up. With our program, you can keep your money in your pocket, okay? And they'll be taken out on the back end. Hey, listen, you got to have a minimum of 640 credit score. If you don't have a minimum of 640 credit score, then you got to get some credit help. Make sure you still call us. Make sure you still plug into our team, because we can definitely help you with that. Make sure your client knows that. The loan term is 13 months, which means that you can only hold this loan for 13 months. After 13 months, you need to have refinanced your way out, or you need to have sold this property. Okay? So up to 100% loan to cost, 100% rehab, 75% of the ARV is your math, minimum $100,000 minimum. Okay, $100,000, and that's on the purchase price. Interest rates is at 9.25% starting. You have to have a minimum of 640 credit score, and the loan term is 13 months. Practice this 70% rule when it comes to flipping property. Okay, the 70% rule just basically says that real estate investors should never pay more than 70% of the property's after repair value, minus the cost of the repairs are necessary to renovate the home. The ARV of the property is the amount of a home can sell for after the flip is renovated. So your customers can practice that 70% rule. Let's give an example, guys. Let's give an example, okay? So $150,000 estimated ARV. $350,000 estimated, I'm sorry, it's backwards, guys. It's $350,000 ARV and $150,000 cost. No, I'm sorry, property cost is $150,000. Estimated ARV, it's right. Estimated ARV is $350,000. So this property is worth $350,000. The estimated cost is $125,000. The closing cost is 10K. What's the estimated gain on this? Come on, y'all help me. This is
About 190.
participation. Huh?
About 190.
Correct. That's the estimated gain on this if you sold this at $350,000, right? Here's another example. The property cost is $75,000. The property cost is $75,000. The rehab is 150 grand, but the ARV is 400,000. Closing cost is 15K. Is this a good deal? Is this a deal we can do?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Somebody says it's a good deal, right?
Yes.
It's a good deal. Everybody agree that this is a good deal, right?
Correct.
Okay, but would we make this loan?
Yes.
Why?
Because the total
Because
purchase.
because
the
the,
total-
go ahead.
I was gonna say the total is 225. So even though the purchase price is below the minimum, the whole loan is above it.
The purchase cost, yes, the purchase cost has to be at $100,000, not the total with the rehab.
Oh, okay.
Right, but the screen shows the rehab cost at 75,000.
No, it says property cost 75,000.
Oh, I see it. Yep.
I was
You would've
reading it
bought
the
those
same way.
fancy
Don't, you're not
glasses.
alone.
Those fancy glasses ain't working, Joey.
I don't even have
Let-
glasses and I read it
Yeah.
wrong.
Might need to go get a prescription put in them like yours.
Yeah, right, exactly. So property cost is 75,000. You have to have a minimum of $100,000 to qualify for the loan. This was a trick question, right? Yes, it's a good deal, but guess what? We're still not going to pass the deal up. What do? How do we solve this customer's problem?
Raise,
Add a
ra-
25,000 on it.
Come on, I need some suggestions. Y'all help me out. I'm new.
raise
to this
raise
business.
the property price, raise the price to 100,000.
That's one, okay? And you can do it that way and deal with the owner to raise it to property cost to $100,000 for what reason? To do what?
To get the loan.
I know.
Add in the closing cost. Just
Exactly.
add in the closing cost.
Thank you. Okay,
Or if you're a realtor, you can schedule yourself a commission.
you can do that too. It's because it's private. It's not exactly. You can do that too. Okay, it might be some repairs that you want to make in the property, and you want the customer to pay for it, right? That's a way to get some more money out. But what else? What's the other suggestion? What's another way for us to solve this customers? I mean, think about it. I'm talking to everyone that's on our team. What and you know
You
what?
can
What
have
is
the
it?
customer apply for gap funding for 100,000 or 75,000. They can pay cash for the property
Yeah,
and then just finance the repairs.
exactly. Bingo. So they can pay for it in cash, right? They can pay for it in cash with gap funding. So as long as they qualify, we can get them the cash, which means they have to, that takes us back to the training that we just completed, right? They have to have a 680. You take that training that we just completed with gap funding, you take, don't they've got a 680 credit score, they've got 3 primary trade lines reporting to their credit. They don't have more than 6 inquiries or 6 or anything new reporting to their credit within the last 6 months. Right? And their DTI, and not the DTI, their credit usage is 20% and under. We'll just get them to 75,000 to go with the loan so they can close. Or not to go with the loan, to pay for the property in cash. And we can do that through a line of credit.
So I have a quick question for you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
All right. So you're wanting people to have 8+ deals, right? So I have an investor of mine. She's done over 36 deals, right? But then you're saying, okay, well, we can't have more than 6 inquiries. Well, she's done more than six properties.
No, I'm sorry. I was confusing. I was just that's for someone looking for unsecured money. I was telling them about something totally different.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, that's
All
not
right.
for the real estate. That's for someone looking for unsecured money. Is that what you're
Okay.
referencing?
All right. Yes. Yeah. Because I was gonna say, I mean, she's had plenty of credit pulls because she's doing multiple deals. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, it's kind of counterproductive, right?
Well, I
But
mean, her deals is she using hard money?
yes, sir.
He shouldn't be showing up on her credit.
The pulls are the inquiries. So you're saying no more than 6 inquiries. Yeah, they aren't reporting to her credit, but it still shows as an inquiry.
Right. So with her, because it's real estate and we can see that she's flipping, okay, we can count those as just kind of like one inquiry, okay? Because
Okay, cool.
she's flipping for houses. So you don't want to have inquiries. What they're looking for is they want to see that you're out there shopping for different things. You need a loan over here. You're trying to buy a car. Are you putting yourself in debt? But for investors, you know that's explainable.
Okay. All right. Now, I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that because, like I said, I've worked with a lot of investors that do multiple deals, and I know that, you know, they get pulls for, for doing the multiple deals, right? So if you can't have more than 6, then they're doing more than 6 deals. It just seems counterproductive, but I get what you're saying. So that's perfect. Thank you for the
Yeah, we can
clarification.
explain that. That's fine. Okay. So long as they have what's needed, you can actually put a gap funding deal with a loan that's only approved at 85% and put the 15% with it. There's your 100%, deal if you had to do it like that. So there's many ways to structure a deal. If you had to just get them gap funding for the whole amount, and you've turned them into a cash investor. That's another thing you want to share with your audience. What you want to share with your platform is that you can actually help create cash investors. Would you like to be a cash investor in a real estate market? Yes. How would I do that? By seeing if they qualify for gap funding. That'll give them the cash they need to come and buy properties in cash. Okay? So you can leverage it that way. Now, what does your client need? Okay, it has to be, once again, $100,000 to 10 million. That's the max that we will go. That's 12 to 18 months. Okay, 18 months is the longest, guys. Keep it up. Keep it at 12 to 13 months. I don't like telling people that long, but keep it at 12 to 13 months. All right, and here's the reason why. It is private money. We don't want to have a habit. We don't want to show a trend of our deals going the full stretch of 18 months. Private investors want to get in and get out, right? As fast as possible. Okay, minimum credit score is 640, up to 100% purchase price, 100% renovation cost, cannot exceed 75%. Now, what kind of properties can we do? 1 to 4 units, all right? Non-owner, occupied, condo, townhouses, multifamily, mixed-use properties. Okay? The documentation that you're going to need is simply the application, 2 months bank statements, corporate entity showing that you have an LLC. What's the rehab budget? Previous real estate experience, okay, and ID. In a lot of cases with the private money, we don't even have to get an appraisal done. We can do a drive-by or we can do a desktop. The closing time, you're talking with private money, you can close in 14 to 20 days. Okay. So foreign nationals, we just rolled this out. Was it the week before last? Is that the week before last? I think we just rolled this program out. They need to have a valid passport, and they can show proof of income in a native country. So whatever they were making and whenever they're from, they can show proof of income from there to get up to 100% funding for real estate here. Okay. Up to, all right. So how do I know which house to flip? Huh? Effective house flipping. You got to decide on your criteria. Everybody's criteria is different. How much are you trying to make? Some people are comfortable with making, you know, a 30% return, especially down in Florida. That's about average, they're saying, right? But places like Chicago and New York, where you're seeing numbers way higher than the 30% return, you know, you're looking at 60, 70%. And in some places it could be a little bit higher. Location is everything. You cannot buy a house everywhere. I don't know. Listen, I've come across properties and it can be the nicest property at a great price, but the location where it was planted at just didn't sit right with me. It just didn't sit right. Some of them, I would think that the property might sit too long, or people aren't trying to buy in that area. So you got to make a decision and not get stuck with a property. Sometimes people and inexperienced investors would buy a property for cheap just because it looks good. Okay? It looks really nice. It was good work done, but the location was bad. You got to go find, you got to research the market trends. What's selling in that area? How fast is it selling in that area? Okay? You have to research that market trend. You got to find distressed properties. Network with real estate professionals, guys. You need to network with as many real estate professionals as possible. We have so many realtors and real estate brokers on our team that it's unreal, right? And why? Because the deals are falling right into your lap. It doesn't take much. Okay? Check out all the online listings. Go to some auctions. Consider the off-market opportunities. That's what you want to do. You want to see the off-market opportunities, okay? These are the things that you have to look at when you're flipping properties. Now, this is the stuff that you want to know when you're talking to your client, because you want to be the expert. When you're talking to your client, you want to be able to ask your client, did you decide on your criteria? What are you looking for? Okay? You want to be able to ask your client these questions, because they're coming to you and looking for money, and you want to be able to give them that money and know that you're giving them that money to something that's about to work. G, did you have something?
I just, once you're done with this slide, there's some questions in the chat. I'm going to go over them
Okay.
with you for you to answer.
So, basically, just, listen, just get excited, Shane. Just keep getting excited, plug into our G2 network, and let's get you to flipping these properties. Now, we're giving out leads to our team. So you guys are receiving leads for these type of deals. You guys are receiving the leads for the fix and flips. Okay, so I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go and start answering the questions in the team in the chat. That the people that are receiving leads on our team, if you are not calling those leads back right away, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing yourself a disservice, okay? So as of today, I would not be handing out leads the way that I've been handing it to you and sending it to you. I'm going to add you up. You guys have to log into our system now. And G is going to talk about that and getting all the reps logged into our system so you guys can get the leads that way through the system. It's our tracking system, it's our lead system. A lot of you all have been setting up your phone numbers and getting your extensions, okay? So we're trying to create uniformity on this team. I'm talking to all of our teammates here, all the ones that's on the G2 Global team. We're creating uniformity, which means we want you to have your extensions. We want you to have your emails. We want you to have your leads so you can be successful. We want you to have your portals to log into where we can communicate in. We want you to have your training. Okay, so you can be successful at what you're doing. But these leads are coming in pretty fast, and you guys are getting them, and some of you all are calling, and you're getting a lot of great results. I'm seeing so many submissions of new deals that's going in. Listen, our team is kicking butt. Our team is kicking butt, y'all. So keep on kicking butt, guys. Okay, what am I looking at? G, what question? What you got?
I got a few here. Okay. From Van. How many points? Is it a hard credit pull every time, or just one time? And then how long does it take to analyze my deals and approve the funding? Analyze their deal and approve the funding. Those are the three questions there.
Okay.
How many points?
So I typically start at 4 points on all of my deals for us. Okay. For everybody on our team, when we submit a deal, I have a standard in there that's going to at least be 4 points, and we can always negotiate down if we have to. But I'm going to start at 4 points. Okay. And if we can make the deal make sense at 4 points, that's where we start.
And then how about, is it a hard credit pull every time or just one time?
It's going to be one time on the pull. It's going to be a hard pull one time.
And then how long does it take to analyze the deal and get approved for funding? What's the pre-approval process like?
So the pre-approval process only takes a couple of days in terms of getting you pre-approved. I can pre-approve you in at least a day or so, 2 days, or at least 2 days. Give me 2 days to get it pre-approved. Okay, and that's basically you filling out the scenario form, and then us getting a submission. And once we see that, we can get a pre-approval based off of what you have submitted. Okay, so I know a lot of you all need pre-approval letters and things of that nature, proof of funds to see properties. We can do that for you. Just let us know. And once you submit your deal, if it's a deal that we can do, we'll get you a pre-approval letter out pretty quickly.
All right, here, that's great. Here's another one. I thought we could do a fix and flip loan with less than a 620 or around a 620, as long as it was held, there was held interest for 12 months. What's up with that?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, we'll look into that. And then what credit bureau does it pull from? Do we know? Is it multiple bureaus or just one, or depends on the lender?
Yeah, it just depends. I'm not sure on that one as well.
Okay. So do I have that name? Is that your banker? What's her name again?
Lamari.
Banker. Lamari. She said she saw that on the call the other day that we had.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not
about
sure
regarding the 620.
Just to make sure though, and I'll check it out.
And then if you got questions about leads, I will answer those at the end during the after hour. We're going to do like a 15-minute after hour when the recording's over. So just stick around for that.
Yeah, every call now, every Friday, we're going to do a 15-minute after hour. Okay, so when we shut the call down, everyone leaves. You can still stay on if you want to, just to kind of shoot the bobos a little bit and ask some questions.
Okay, Van has another question about the fix and flip. Okay, so 4 points and the rates are at 9.25%. What's the max percent?
The max percent on the rate?
The rate or Van, if you can clarify, the rate or the points? What's the max percent on which one?
The rates. I saw the thing, it said 9.25, and thank you for answering 4 points.
Mhm.
And it starts at 9.25, but what would be the max? Would it be like 15, 14?
Yeah, something in there. Cause like the last deal I just saw was like around 14.
Okay. So let's just hypothetically say 4 points and 14%.
Yes,
Okay. So it'll be like 4 points, 14%, 12 months, no monthly payments.
correct.
With
And
8
so-
flips, it would be 100% funding on all ways. If not, it would be up to 85%.
Correct, exactly. As long as they've got the experience to support.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, how about this? Someone asked, Andre asked, can a new home builder get a loan under the 100% loan rule? I think you might have answered that, but
Yeah.
that was
no.
one of the questions.
Unfortunately, no.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mo.
No, I'm just telling them no. I was letting them down easy.
Yeah, that's good. Here, Manifest asked this. So the experience is A+ properties already done. So I mean, they've already have to have 8 fix and flips under their belt, right?
Right.
And what was the year? How many years was that?
5 years.
5 years. Any others? Any other questions?
Hey guys, I've got a question about the hard inquiries. So it is my understanding that if you do, let's say you're trying to get a loan and you apply, say, 3 different times, and as long as you do that within a 14-day period, that's supposed to be considered one inquiry. Is that correct?
No, it's not. It's not that it's considered one inquiry. It's that I can explain it as one. I can explain it
Okay.
because you're an investor and you're looking for funding for a property. So even if you got, the scenario was if I got multiple properties or that investor that bought multiple properties, would that disqualify her from getting some unsecured money? Because goes back to the no more than 6 inquiries in the last 6 months. And basically he was asking, would that disqualify his investor because she's buying properties repeatedly? Well, what I'm saying is, yes, it's going to show as individual inquiries,
But it's explainable as one
it's
purchase.
explainable for one purpose.
Okay. And then secondly, so once you do a hard inquiry, they have what, 45 days to make a decision on that. If they wait much longer than that, they have to have a second inquiry that, like, the first one expires within either 30 or 45 days. Is that right?
For the inquiry?
Yeah, once you have a hard inquiry and you're him hawing around, you haven't decided whether you want to actually take the loan or not. I mean, you have to do that within, is it the 45-day period before that inquiry has to be done again?
I mean, I don't think that that's the law. I don't think that that's the standard. According to my credit knowledge,
Okay.
I think that goes against what I've been taught. But maybe it's something new that I don't know.
Well, I would say if they didn't do it right away, I mean, it'd probably be a stacked deal anyways, and you
Yeah,
wouldn't drag it out that far. But okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, Mo.
no problem. No problem, brother.
Lamar said that she sent you the slides from last week's call in a text, so you can maybe get back to her on that. And then, can you go, Mo? Would you go back to the slide with the 8 steps? It says, why on the slide with the 8 steps, find the right property is 5 instead of the first step?
Says what?
If you look on the slide with the 8 steps, Damon asked, why is find the right property step number 5?
Well,
instead of step 1.
So step 1, 2, and 3 are all mental. This is all preparation, mental preparation. This is getting your game plan together. Okay, you want to do some research on the area. You want to You know, you want to decide on how big of a project you want to handle, and you just want to make sure you kind of create a plan on what you're about to do. So that's all your strategic planning. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is then identify where you're going to get the money from, and then you have to find a property. So the problem is that too many people put that step first. That's a problem. You don't want to buy a right property first. You want to do some research first. You want to decide on the size of your project first. You want to make sure you have an exit plan. Once I get a property, what am I going to do with it? That's your plan. And once you can come with your strategic plan, then you can tap into your funding source and then find a property. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Damon said great answer, so I think that's satisfied that. Here we go. Are we in all 50 states? Can we do all 50 states?
Yes, we can.
Great. All right, any others?
Yep.
That's
All
awesome.
Can I say something right quick, Mo?
Absolutely.
To the team, Benny Miller, with the Sequoia platform, I have gotten one investor with George approved for 4 fix and flips. Now he's approved for 4 fix and flips. He wrote a contract on 3 of those, but he has pulled out or declined on 2 of the fix and flips because he found out that they was in the flood zone. Nevertheless, it cost some little money on the front end for what he's going through with his heartache and pain, but hopefully he'll be back to complete the transaction for the other 3 fix and flips. But as Mo was saying, I'm pretty sure it's a lot of real estate agents on this call. That's you can really create 3 transactions out of this fix and flip program right here. You can sell them the property on the front end. You can finance the property for the investor. And after he rehabs the property, then you can sell it on the back end. That's 3 transactions right there if you're a realtor. And on the average, you can make somewhere, I think, between $8,000 and probably $10,000 per transaction. So if you had yourself approximately 10 investors approved for 4 fix and flips, that's 40 transactions right there. Times $10,000, you made yourself on the average somewhere between 375 to maybe 400. All depends on the region you're in. Like in Virginia, that's probably about 400, 425 for first-time home buyer type property, 250, 275. So if you really look at the numbers and know how to multiply the numbers and really find some real good, solid investors that will meet this criteria for this program, you can really be successful with this program.
And thank you for that, Benny. Benny, you just closed a couple of deals. What was the deal that you just closed? What kind of deal was that?
It was a fix and flip. It was like 120,000
Right.
that he purchased. Now he's gonna rehab it. Then we're gonna put it back on the market and sell it. So that's 3 transactions right there. Now, another thing too, I want to say, sometimes we as realtors, we get very busy, we get very tied up. Like in Virginia, there's two sides of the bridge. It's 2 areas. I don't like to go on the other side of the water because it takes a lot of time. So I have worked out a deal with this agent. She pays me a referral fee when he looks at these properties on my side of the water. So that's how, hey, I finance the property. She finds it. I get a referral fee still on the real estate side.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Carolyn, what about your deal that you just funded? What kind of deal was that? You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, it was a cash out refi. It's an investment property, a duplex,
Yeah.
and he took out some equity out of there.
Good job, Carolyn. Good job. Okay. Any other questions?
And another thing I want to say, just from personal experience, George works very hard to get your investors approved for these transactions. He's very personable. He's very
I
reasonable.
like George, man.
He's a he's a realistic person.
Yeah.
You can call him. He picks up the phone, and he's gonna help your client all the way through the process.
And he's very structured.
Yes, he is.
He's very structured and outlines everything. He's great. So you definitely want him working on your deal. Okay. Just hey G, you want to talk about some new news that's coming to our team? What are we doing right now? We just hired a team administrative assistant. Okay, and we also hired a marketing guy, but go ahead and talk about it for a second, G, while we've got a little time. We got a couple of minutes on here.
Yeah, you want me to stop the recording now? You want to do the after hour? Or you want to just wait until it's over?
We can stop it.
You can talk with her after the sign, I think. You can talk to him. Which with the sign, they say sign, they say, part, which
Okay, hold on one second.